question.
Where's that? Oh, there, okay, there you are. So where's the voice of God coming from?
Do you have any memorable fangirl or fanboy moments? Has anyone just sort of looked at you and screamed?
Yes. All the time. The funny thing is they only, they only happen at conventions. Because when I'm out on the street, as soon as I leave the front door of this building, I'm not famous, just so you know. In here, yes. As soon as I walk out that door, no. Because nobody, I mean, you know, like Carl Urban can walk out the door, and James Marshall can walk out the door, and they're at the supermarket, and people probably walk up to them, you know, and ask them to sign their, you know, carton of milk or whatever, you know. But people generally don't know what I look like. And while I've done, you know, the odd TV appearance and the odd independent film, I'm not that type of famous. So it is really interesting, but I have had some very memorable experiences within the con atmosphere. And actually, Tara and I, over the last year, have been filming a documentary/mockumentary called Con Artists that takes place at cons like this. And some of it is honest-to-God documentary footage and interviews with fans and so on. And some of it is scripted stuff that me and Tara made up that make fun of us being actors at these conventions. And they're editing it right now, so I hope you'll get to see it soon, because I think you'll really get a kick out of it. It's me and Tara making asses of ourselves at conventions like this. But one of the, I was at a con in Austin, Texas, and I must have caught like a death bug, flu, you know, fever, something on the flight out, and like literally by that first night I was sweating, and I had this is Fahrenheit, mind you, but I had like 103-degree fever, and I could barely see straight, but. You know, but I wanted to be there, you know, for the fans, and so I said, no. They said, why don't you just, you know, sleep in your room till you feel better? I'm like, no, just I'm gonna rest, and then when I have panels, send somebody up and knock on the door, and I'll come down and do the panel. And so that's exactly what they did. And I would get out of bed, and I'd go, you know, I'd work up as much energy as I could, and I'd do my panel, and I'd go back up to my room and sweat, you know, and take the aspirin, and on the very last day, they had sort of a VIP luncheon type thing where people had bought, you know, expensive tickets to come and have a, you know, a buffet breakfast, brunch with a lot of the guests at the convention. And they said, you know what, you don't have to do that. Just stay in bed. I was like, no, they bought the tickets. I'm going. I must do this. And so I got up, and I'm, you know, blind with fever, and I walked down the thing, and I'm walking, and I'm almost to the hall where they're doing it, and I get blindsided by this crazy, insane glump girl, this fan girl, just knocks me over. I fall over we both fall onto the ground. I'm dizzy, you know, I can't see straight, and I get up, and she's still hugging me, and she says, oh my God, I've always wanted to meet you, Chris Sabat. For those of you who know Chris Sabat, A, I look nothing like Chris Sabat, and B, I don't sound anything like Chris Sabat, so there was no real reason, but, you know, somebody must have said, hey, there's Chris Sabat, you know, and she just took off charging, and you know, to this day, I didn't even tell her she was wrong, I just said, thank you, you know, and I walked off, you know, to the brunch, but that, yeah, it was sort of a blind attack glump that happened, that happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Mr. Yuri Lowenthal!
So that might have stand up like forever. I want to ask really quick what your question is. You don't even need the mic.
You're skating Persona 4.
Yes.
What's it like being behind the microphone on a game where you've got very little character movement and just a couple of standard portraits compared to defined movements with the animated figures?
You have 5 seconds to answer.
You what?
5 seconds to answer.
5 seconds to answer. Yosuke in Persona 4, what was it like developing that character who really only had some, you know, not a lot of like movement? Well, before, when we're recording stuff, we don't often really even get to see any of that stuff, so I didn't know how much movement there would be, you know, within the game of that character. So I just went crazy with it because he's goofy, and I was happy because in the last game, in Persona 3, I played a character who really didn't have any lines for the most part, and so I think it was poetic justice that they gave me the character who couldn't shut his mouth for the entire game, Yosuke, and that. And so I just goofed off. It was fun.
Just like this panel, Yuri Lowenthal!